Dude, today we're about to frunk some stuff up. So on the screen, you see that the hood is open, and on the screen it's open. You just hit close, or you hit open to close it, and it closes. And there it goes. And you do the same thing to open it. Obviously open opens it. So from the title you probably saw we're doing a Model Y Power Frunk. And you might be thinking, that's old news, there's boring news. Yeah, we've seen the Power Frunk in the Model 3 and the Model X and the Model S. You've done those already, Brian. I know, I have. No one's done the Model Y yet. I mean, there's a couple people out there that have the kits. I got this kit a little while ago from Hansshow. I'm gonna install it today, but the reason I've been waiting is because there's a huge deal with Hansshow starting today. Yes, big news, big news. You've heard of Black Friday deals. They're starting theirs today, and it's not really Black Friday because it's not one day. This goes till the 30th of November, so it's kind of like, it's like November, no, I wouldn't say no deal because these are huge deals. Up to 30% off. I can't believe they're doing this. This is huge discounts, way more than what they normally do. If you've been waiting for any product from Hansshow, it's up to 30% off. Watch this video if you're interested in the Model Y, because I am installing it today in mine. I mean, you knew it was a matter of time before they were gonna have a kit for it. Click the link down below for the deals. You know what, let me just go over the deals with you. Let me get my phone. Here, 30% off. Model X Power Frunk, Model 3 Frunk and Trunk, Model S Frunk and Trunk. Those are all 30% off. The Model Y kick sensor, because it's already a power trunk in the Model Y, 30% off. The exhaust system, which you guys hated. I can't believe you guys gave me so many thumbs downs on that. That was an awesome video. Well, how could you hate that video? Anyway, that's 30% off. The key fob ring, that's 30% off. The massage seats, oh my God, all the massage seats, the 3, the S, and the Y, all 30% off. I do have the Model X massage seats that I still have to install. The premium sound upgrade. Did you know that if you have the SR without the SR Plus, you can get the premium sound for the Model 3? You're gonna get that upgrade. And 25% off is what I'm gonna be installing today, the Model Y Power Frunk. That's what we're doing today, and I gotta get started. And this camera's getting heavy. First things first, you need to take off all this plastic. It's not really difficult. You've probably seen this before. Mine's a little different because I have a compressor inside my frunk, which I haven't really talked about. I will be talking about that soon, but I gotta get that dialed in and done right. I've been kind of slacking on the videos lately because I've moved, and you might see that this is a different garage. I'm getting everything set up here. I just added these lights yesterday because the lights sucked in here. This is the third bay here, and there was only one little light in here. I couldn't see anything, so I had to replace the lights, and I'm gonna replace more of them once I move this garage door. Otherwise, I'd have had this done yesterday. So yes, I have slacked off on some videos, but for a good reason. We've moved. And I'll show you what it looks like underneath. You've probably already seen what it looks like underneath, but mine's a little different than most for some reason. And I'll show you that. All right, this is why mine's a little different than most. For some reason, mine got a little dirty. I don't know how, but it looks like a little bit of mud's in here. These are all the wires that were going to the compressor. Not too worried about. I'm just gonna leave these there. I will eventually go over all those things, but I do have a little bit more attached to my battery than most people do as well. But everything's safe and secure. But it's going to be a lot like every other Frunk install. I'll point out some differences in the Model Y versus the Model 3 because you've seen this already before. Obviously the struts are a little different because they're shorter in the Model Y, and this lock mechanism's a little different. And besides, they're all in the directions. Hansshow put some good directions out there, but if you're afraid of installing all this stuff, if you don't want to install it yourself, Hansshow has some installers all across the country, all across the world really. You just go onto the website and you can see where the closest installer is to you. Or maybe you and your friend can get together and get the kits together and help each other install them, because they're really not that difficult. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not an engineer or anything. I just like to tinker with my car. But I totally understand if you don't want to do anything like that. That's why they have installers everywhere. All right, so it's a good idea to get one of these lights because it is really hard to see in there. Most of the time you're blind looking down there. The first thing I've noticed is that's where the shock is at the bottom. And there's a bracket here, and then at the very bottom is the shock tower. You need to remove that, and it's really small. It's really tight in here, so you might have to, I've already taken this off so I can get my hand in there a little bit better, but you're gonna have to pop that off in there. I would take off a watch or anything like that you might have. Like I said, it's a little tighter. Tesla made these farther down. In the Model 3, they're going from here to down here, and it's not very difficult. They've really jammed these in down here. So right away, that's a hard spot. All right, the directions say to use a pry tool down there. I ended up just reaching my hand underneath this, all the way down there, supporting the hood with my head, and I just yanked the bottom half out. You don't have to compress that little spring or anything like that. You just pull. So I ended up getting a broom handle just so I can hold this up, because this did fall while I was trying to find a broom handle, because you're gonna need to stay in that area because you need to put this bracket in place. You're gonna take that pin off and put this in there. So now the strut is gonna be a little bit lower than what the factory setting is. You're gonna use the provided screw that they send inside the hole that comes out of. The bracket is right down there. Now it says left because the way they have this worded is the car facing forward. So you're looking this way, the car's behind you. This is right, this is left. They should have put driver and right and passenger, a D and a P would have been a lot easier. So left side, right side. And you don't want to get those screwed up because you have to put that bolt in there. That bolt goes in there, and these little pieces give that support. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully this doesn't look so stupid. I don't really care. I need to see. All right, the passenger side, not as difficult. Still, I mean, there's a little bit more room, so it's easy to get the strut off a little bit easier. I do recommend having something like this. There's not much room in there to tighten those up. I used a shorty screwdriver on the other side, but there's really not that much room. So if you had a ratcheting one, or even just the bit that you can attach to a ratchet, that'd be really good. This is a number 2 Phillips head. It requires a number 3, really. You really should have a number 3. If you don't know what that means, go to the hardware store and ask for a number 3 Phillips head bit. It's not like blinker fluid. They won't laugh at you. It's a real thing. But this is a number 2. I still was able to get it to work, but it's not the best. I did kind of strip it out a little bit. Now I can put on the new struts. We have the wire at the very bottom coming out. I just have it running out the front here. I'm gonna tidy those up a little bit, but it's hooked to the top and the bottom there. Same thing with the passenger side. Again, the passenger side was a little easier. Now I know I know some of you are typing right now actually, well that's just way too much work. I'm not gonna go ahead and do all that. That's just crazy. My time is worth more than that. That's why Hansshow has installers all over the country. This video is for the people who want to save some money, do it themselves. They're handy, they can tinker with this stuff. And some people like doing this stuff. Some people like installing things, and you know, you probably built models when you were a little kid. So stop typing. I know you're typing right now. Stop typing that this is too much work, it's not worth it. Just look at the final product, see if you want someone else to install it for you. Use my code down below to save up to 30% off for the next, or actually really for the rest of the month. Buy everything from Hansshow, up to 30% off of everything on the website. Crazy deals, crazy deals. All right, if you're like me and your Model Y is very dirty, remove this bolt and this pin comes out, and you can remove this. I'm gonna clean all that off. Trying to suck those pine needles through the car. All right, so now we took this off. First you mark where it goes. So I took a marker and marked where, I just traced around where it went. And now we're going to remove this spring from this pin here. We're just gonna pull it off and move it up because there's another bar. This attaches to that, and then the spring will go up underneath that. But I'm just gonna take some pliers, pull this out to release the tension because that's a small bar, and then that will release everything. I'll be able to move this out of the way, mount the other piece there, and put the bracket in place. Just follow the directions. The directions don't seem too complicated from this part forward. And it should look like this. The bar is coming up behind the spring tension, and then the tension comes around to the bottom piece there. I was able to do that by hand. There's not that much tension there. Just be careful. Now it shows that it's locked. Before it was in the upright position, but I don't think that really matters at this point, because we mess with that anyway. We make sure that it is locked to begin with, but you'll see that in the directions. All right, and then after that, you're just gonna sandwich that back together in place. I'm gonna show you that. And the reason we marked this is because you want that to line up properly. You see the red lines around. We wanna try to line up this as close as we can to where it was. The bracket is down here now, coming up on top of the regular stock bracket. I'm pretty close to the red line where the bracket was. Obviously you're looking through the camera. I was able to see with my eyes a little bit better. I'm gonna put that tight, but I feel like that's a part where you're gonna play with where this lines up exactly. And unfortunately, you don't notice that until the frunk is in place because it sits on those things. So what I recommend, and I've done this before on the others, don't bolt the frunk back in place. Let the trunk close all the way to see if you need to move anything. Hopefully that makes sense. If you've installed these before, then you'll understand. Now what's left is to run this through the front, attached to the hole, because that is the safety thing. If something happens where we need to get into there, say this doesn't work for some reason, we're gonna pop this off and we can pull this tab and it releases the trunk, or the frunk. All right, so it is installed. Obviously I have to do more stuff, but I ran the power to the block. This is the brains. It's sitting right there. This is the line running from the one strut to the other. Everything's running down to the front here. I have to tidy everything up. This is the speaker, the little noise buzzer. I usually disconnect those when I'm done because I hate having the noise. This is a little different than the ones before. It's not like holy frunkin' shit. It's really not that much more difficult than the others. So it's just a little different than the rest. So I'm assuming the Cybertruck's going to be even more different. So thanks again, Hansshow, for sending this out for the video and for giving such a great deal for everyone else. Up to 30% off. Order yours today. Click the link below, and it helps out the channel as well. Thanks again. See ya. Oh, as always, stay awesome, stay positive, and I'll catch you on the next one.